The original Red Pill Show.
Welcome to a brand new episode.
Batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Ready to move out.
That's not the one I wanted. Wow.
Don't look too closely, then I'll see right. Defy me once and I'll be out of sight. Don't make me stay and think I'll be nice. I'd rather fight and be the one who despises.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the original Red Pill Show. Today is Monday, Labor Day, September 6th, 2021. This show is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please use at your own risk. Shows copyrighted by me and Freedom Revolution Network. No part of it can be reused, rebroadcasted in any way, shape, or form without our written consent. Finally, this show is opinionated. The host, when he's not dead, callers, guests, people that are naughty in the chat room, are and always will be opinionated, thank God, under no circumstances whatsoever. Should opinions be taken as advice? If you're seeking professional advice, we strongly encourage you to hire a licensed, if required, person in his or her field there, little Tommy. Hey, man. No. That's his name. Broadcasting live after a month of almost being dead. from the wonderful state of Florida, where you can just come here and get COVID-19 just by landing on a plane, apparently. But you'll get herd immunity if you survive. Being sarcastic here in case you haven't noticed yet. And it's been a while, a month at least. And I'm going to explain why, Lucy, here in a second. Now, I might have to take a break. How y'all doing? Huh? How y'all doing? I don't want to bring anybody down. I want everybody to laugh. I want everybody to think and go, what kind of fucking world? Sorry. What kind of world do we live in? Dystopian sci-fi movie with all your rights taken away. Right? Pretty much. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to have to deal with that crap. But did I say I'm going to have to get up and get my coffee because I'm making some. So good morning to everybody. Good evening, Darren. You're in are you in Australia, mate? Sorry. Where is that where you're at? I know Total Vagabonds. He's in Ireland. We just go all the way around the planet here. Freedom Revolution Network. All right, so what is happening? I came on to share. Now, this is only my experience and opinions, of course. It's not medical advice. It's not anything of the kind. It's not what you should do or what you shouldn't do. This is me. Because I'm still here. So, by the grace of God. And I had COVID-19. And I want to share my experiences. I want to share what I did to put a little bit of, I don't know, a little bit of peace, I guess, into people's hearts would be the best way to explain it. Because I haven't had this thing since this whole horseshit thing started way back in January of a year and a half ago. And I'm like, oh, I won't get it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, because I'm Superman. I still think I am. I knew people that got it. I heard people that got it. Well, actually, I didn't hear a lot of people that got it. But all of a sudden, bam. Oh, yeah, I had it. I got it. I just got over it. It's like, what the fuck? So by definition now, in my opinion, okay, it's a pandemic. I would agree with that now. Not because I had it, because I talked to friends and people that have had it recently. It's like, oh, yeah, well, I ran into someone else and they got it too. And they got it too. And I was like, holy shit. Okay. But not before. It's like, I don't even know what you're talking about, but you have to stay in your house and you can't eat and you can't sleep and you don't do what I thought you to do and you need your papers now. Okay, what about the Constitution? Can I pull that paper out, please? No. Okay. In my opinion, yeah. Yeah, and not just because I got it. And some people might be surprised or not, in my view and perspective of all of this, after I had this. So I'm going to start by saying, you don't want it. This thing is not a joke. This thing is real. Trust me, it's real. Now, I don't know if it's as real as they're saying and trying to scare the hell out of you and not live your life and don't breathe and this other crap, but it's real. I really don't think, unless I moved into a cave or a mountain, that I was not going to get it. It was just a matter of time, especially being in the state of Florida. Hang on, I hear my coffee percolating or whatever it is. Hang on. It's not quite done yet. I am going to share. Does everything sound okay? It's been so long since I've done this. I'm surprised I remember even how to do it. That's what she said. Okay. So I just want to share. I mean, there's so much going on. If anybody wants to bring up anything, go right ahead. The phone line is, I'm going to have to do something about that as far as calling in. Which I love when people do that. But again, happy Labor Day. If I say Memorial Day, my bad. Happy Labor Day weekend to everybody. I hope you're spending time with your family or a quality time with yourself or whatever you're going to do today. It's a day off, a paid day off, hopefully. And you need to enjoy your day. And thank you for sharing it with me and Freedom Revolution Network. So there you go. Okay, it's about as nice as I'm going to be right now. I don't want to get into all the politics and all the crap. I may, because it's almost impossible. But this is more of a personal experience. Hey. Oh, you're off to work. All right. Have a great day, Total Vagabonds. Thanks for, that's very nice of you to do that. Get it. Have a great day. Get to working on Labor. Is it really Labor Day over there and you're working? Are you getting double time? I would definitely demand that. Okay. Well, have a great day. Thank you. So I was debating whether to come on here and share this or not. And people would probably say, well, why are you sharing that? Because if I can do something to help somebody, one person, because I'm going to tell you something, this thing, that ain't a thing here. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. Labor Day, so it's only in stupid ass America then, I guess that would make sense. See, I'm a dumb American. So, and I mean that so sarcastically, kind of. But we just figure our holidays are your holidays because that's the way it is. But it's not. So what about Christmas and all that crap? I mean, Thanksgiving, because we all assume, like I said, since it's our holiday, it's everybody's holiday, which, not really, because you're getting into religion and stuff and beliefs in some cases, but that's not a thing in Ireland, huh? I guess it wouldn't be. I don't even really know what the hell Labor Day is, to be honest with you, except it's a day off. My coffee cup's up. Don't do Thanksgiving. I'm kind of with you on that one because I did my homework on Thanksgiving. It's when the white man fucked everything up in this country in the start of it. And then we took over the entire land from indigenous people, threw them on reservations and kept them drunk and gave them casinos. So, yeah, I kind of agree with that one there. Not one of my favorite holidays. Actually, all holidays just fuck everything up. You know, you go and you see your family. I was like, can I get the fuck out of here? I need to go back home. Sorry. All right, hang on a second. I got to get more coffee. Hang on. All right. I'm back. I'll be back. Okay. You know, one thing I noticed, and I told a friend this yesterday. I said, this is real personal, so I don't really care. There's two benefits to having COVID-19. One of them was my hemorrhoids went away. Isn't that nice? Very personal. They'll just tell you. Not a trace of the motherfuckers anymore. I'm like, okay. Hell of a way to get rid of them. And then it's not like they were bad or anything, but I mean, I've been told if you push too hard when you poop, that's what causes them, you know. And sometimes I'm having a battle getting that shit out of me, literally. And that's what causes them. I'm not a doctor, but that's what I heard. And the second thing is my voice has been not 100%. And I noticed that now that it is. I mean, I could pretty much do any impersonation I want. It's lower if I want to go real low. See, I could do that. I couldn't do that before, so I don't know what's going on. I just notice I know my body, just like 99% of us. And when something's not right, something's not right, right? Yeah, right. Just agree with that, okay, please. I'm going to share as much as I can. Now, disclaimer again. My experience, not medical advice for diagnosing, treating, yada, 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 yada. That's not what I'm doing. I'm sharing this because this thing fucking sucks. And I'm very serious about that. You talk to some people, oh, I just had a cold. I just had this. I had just that. Well, God bless you. Some people it damn near killed, or it has killed, unfortunately. So I don't want to make a game out of this thing or a joke, except if it is at. See, I can talk. My voice sounds better, but I still can't fucking talk. Sorry. So even if it is at my expense, that's what I'm trying to say. Which I can do that. I can throw myself under the bus. I can do whatever I want. For the benefit of you guys, okay? And I wanted to do it. And I thought about it. And I'm like, I don't really know if I want to do that. But I do. Only for the one reason is that, I mean, I don't know about you guys. And anxiety for me, for one, I thought it was a bunch of horse shit when people said, well, I have anxiety. Okay, well, you're just a pussy. Sorry. You just can't handle life. Really? Well, I was 100% wrong. Because I had some very, very life-altering things happen to me. And all of a sudden, I was experiencing anxiety. The last thing you want to do is, number one, have this. Number two, have anxiety or an anxiety attack, as they call them. No fun. No fun. I have not had an anxiety issue in quite a long time because I've learned how to deal with it and identify it. Where the hell is everybody? Wake up. So you probably know somebody that's had this, you've had it, whatever, COVID-19. And going through it, you don't know that you have it until, of course, you get tested for it, which I did, and it was positive. PCR test, and I was not surprised because I knew something was going on. You just know it. You just like, what is going on? Something's not right here. And the first sign or symptom of this thing was a headache. Ironically, it started on a Monday, which is no big surprise. Mondays suck anyway. So it's like, okay, might as well have a headache too. No drinking, no nothing. And I had a headache. And I'm like, okay, well, I just kind of pushed through it. Well, Tuesday, I had a headache. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, okay. Wednesday, I had a headache. Okay, something's going on here because I don't even have Tylenol or anything, Advil, in my apartment. I just don't get them. I get them if I have too many drinky poos or whatever, which is very rare. I don't do any drugs. I don't do anything of the kind, anything like that. If anything, I'll have wine or beer. That's it. But I didn't have any, especially during the week. I don't. Or some seltzers. The new wild and crazy alcoholic beverage if you want to sit by the pool or go to the beach or whatever. So those. Alcohol. That's it. So then Thursday comes. I'm like, okay, something's going on here. So I went and I bought some acetaminophen. And just in case some, what was it? Oh, God, I forget the name. The fucking cough syrup. You know, it was, I'm just going to say Robitussin, but it wasn't. It was the other one. The other popular one. Decongestant. So I had that. So I don't know if I said this. I think I said that was Thursday. Thursday came. That happened. A headache 4 days in a row. Friday comes. Well, Thursday I worked all day. Came home and went right to bed. Fatigue just knocked me on my ass. I'm a pretty active guy. Okay. I work out, do the Peloton cycle. Not every day. This is just my routine to stay healthy and in shape. Weightlift workout, Peloton, fitness, boxing, yoga once a week on the beach, which is cool. I think that's it as far as physical. I mean, that's enough. And then I work 8, 9, 10 hours a day. So I'm pretty active. Try to eat right when I can. I don't eat clean, like, you know, tofu and unbreaded chicken and all this crap. I mean, I eat by instinct. Sometimes I got to have a lot of calories, and sometimes I eat what I want to eat, put it that way. But it's not a bunch of crap. It's relatively good. I try to watch fast food, but because of the convenience, it's kind of hard to cut that out 100%. But my point is this: I am pretty healthy. I am not on any meds, prescriptions, hypertension, any of that crap. 57, which I still can't believe that, but it's true. You do the math and you're like, what the fuck, really? So that. And I have no underlying health conditions, period. Okay. So that's a benchmark just for all of yous to get that. I'm healthy as a horse. I have a real strong immune system, apparently. But again, I'm not Superman. People think that we are, especially the younger that you are. But trust me, you're not. This thing will make you feel like a pile of dog shit for weeks. And it did. And it will. Now, before I go any further, I don't want to talk about the shot. Okay. Oh my God. Really? Personal choice. Personal choice. That's all. That's all I'm going to talk about. And I'll talk about that down the road because this is symptoms for people like, what's going on? So Thursday came. I got that crap at Walmart. I came home. I went to bed. I woke up in the morning and I called my boss and I'm like, man, I feel like shit. I am not coming in today. Oh, okay. So I go, yeah, I might need to take some personal time off because I don't know what this is. Now, this is just my experience, guys. Well, Tim said this and this. Yeah, this is for me, not you. Okay. You can have a total different experience. I don't know. But from what I've heard, the symptoms are pretty similar. Headache for sure, then fatigue for sure. And then after that, whether you get congestion or not, whatever. It all depends on your body and how you take care of yourself and obviously your current health condition. That's all I'm going to tell you. And your age for that matter. I think. I don't know. I mean, I guess. I don't know. I don't like age discrimination regardless of what it is, but it is what it is. So you can't argue that. I mean, I'd rather have a 2-year-old car than a 20-year-old car. Yeah, that kind of thing. So Friday came, called the boss. So, man, I can't. I'm probably going to have to take some time off. I'm going into the weekend. But we'll see. And he goes, well, if you get a PCR, if you get a test, I can pay you if you have COVID. I'm like, really? Now, I'm not a big fan of getting paid for not working, but I'm not a big fan of running through my personal time either for a fucking virus that allegedly came from China that has nothing to do with me. It's just me. I mean, it's not my fault. It's not my fault the virus is running around. And if it was, I'd be sitting in prison right now. So, Mr. Parsons, did you know that you created a bioweapon and you released it intentionally or unintentionally and all these people died, not to mention you just ruined the global economy? What? No. But that's okay. We're just going to let you slide. Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. Total Vagabond says, my friends have it. I've been clear so fat. Really? You're fat? Sorry, far. I got made homeless at the beginning of the pandemic. And strangely, I'm not stressed. Things can only get better. Okay. Well, first of all, people have no idea. You're 2-3 weeks from a paycheck from being homeless. All he is, pretty much. Unless you're from a rich family and got a silver spoon in your mouth and up your ass and whatever. And you're very fortunate, and it's no disrespect because I'm sure your family or the family before that earned that money and they worked really hard. Here's the illusion. Go down this rabbit hole. When you're successful, well, there's a big difference between being successful and being poor. Just going to call it the way it is. Homeless, down and out, whatever. Although some people do choose to be homeless, but I'm not using those people as an example. But when you're successful, man, everybody loves you and they call you and they want to make sure you're okay. And it's like, hey, Tim, I heard you had COVID-19. I hope you're doing okay. Now, I've had people do that, but I can tell you right now, if I was still a business owner and making $350,000 a year and all this kind of shit, I would have had a lot more people calling me. I know that for a fact. But have some life-altering issues like a financial meltdown, 2008. I'm not blaming people. how come it's not your fault? It is my fault. I'll make that perfectly clear. Perfectly clear. One of my faults was letting the wrong people into my life and trusting them. Now, that might sound like a blame thing, but if you can't trust your own wife and your family members, then who can you trust, right? So I don't want to go down that road. So that's enough. But it's amazing. The point of this is this. It's amazing is when you're down and out, God forbid you're homeless. I was very close to being homeless. I had a boat. I had 3 cars. I had 2 houses and a partridge in a pear tree. I had all this shit, man. I had all this stuff. Whether you want to believe that or not, I don't really care because I can prove it. I have my company books. I can prove it from that way. And there's some other ways I can prove it. I'm not just talking here for semantics and ratings and whatever. This is me. This is my life. Believe it or not. I wouldn't believe it, though. If I were you, I wouldn't believe it. I'm like, that's a bunch of bullshit. I don't even tell everything. But when you're down and out and you're homeless and you lose stuff, like for instance, I had a friend that called me his best friend when everything was great. And then when I lost everything, I wasn't his best friend anymore. So what does that tell you? And the only thing that changed was my status. So there's just one example. Oh, you're 60 this month? Total vagabonds, and I'm healthy. Okay, so let me ask this. I was just talking to a friend about this yesterday. We're sitting by the pool. She's going to be 55. Here's the perspective, in my opinion. When you're a kid, or even in your 20s and 30s, and then quite possibly 40s, but see, the older you get, the younger you are. And when I was a kid, probably, up to 30, it's like, oh, well, gee, they're 50, they're old. It's like, yeah, okay. But like I said, then you get in your 40s and 50 isn't so old anymore. And then now you're pushing 60 like me, 57, I'll be 58 in March. It's like, how was turning 60? Did it fuck with your head? Because I was sharing with my friend, when I hit 30, that bothered me. It really did. I don't know why. It just did. 40 didn't bother me at all. It's the decades that bother me. But 40 didn't bother me. 50 did. And I'm anticipating that 60 is going to bother me. So I don't know. Did that bother you in any way, shape, or form negatively? Or is it just like, it's just a number, man? I mean, which it is. But I just want to know if that bothered you hitting 60, because I'm anticipating that it's going to for me, but maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, so when you're successful, you got all these people give a shit about you, and when you're not, you don't. Just put it that way. And then the ones that do care about you when you're down and out are your true friends and family. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Which is nowhere near the amount of people that it used to be. So, okay. So Friday comes along and I call in sick. Now, this is not even a week into it. The entire weekend, I slept. That's all I did. I slept. I didn't eat too much. Oh, for the record, too, I lost 9 pounds through this thing, which I knew I lost some weight. I would have to because I wasn't eating. I lost my sense of taste, smell. I still really don't have it. The fatigue was off the charts. Off the charts. The only other time in my life that I had that type of fatigue is when I was in the hospital at 27 years old, laid up for 10 days on an IV drip with a bunch of antibiotics and saline and everything else. I had pneumonia and I wanted to die. It was just fucking horrible. Excuse me. But as far as the fatigue level, that's how it was. It was just getting out of bed to go pee was like a fucking challenge, you know. And I live alone, so that was a little bit of a concern too, because I could have literally just died here and nobody would have knew. You know, I mean, it wouldn't have got to that point. I would have called people and go, "Hey man, I'm really fucked up. I need some medical attention." I'm not that dumb, but I'm just trying to get a point here. So headache, fatigue off the charts. That was the first week. Second week, I started getting a little bit of congestion. So that's where the decongest, all over the counter crap and natural vitamins and stuff. Second week, same. I mean, out. Just out. There's just no way I could do anything. Now, here's the weird part of this that I don't know people talked about. I have heard there was like a mental fog. And that I can confirm. I experienced that. But even went further with me. Now, either people aren't talking about this or it didn't happen. I don't know. Who knows? But this thing literally fucks with your head. I am even going to say, I think this thing has some type of intelligence level, because here's why. When you're at your weakest, this thing attacks you, whether you're sleeping or you think you feel better, which you do, and you get up and you go, "Oh, I could just run to Walmart. I feel a little better now. And I'm going to go get some food because I'm not eating." Pineapple I had. And for the weirdest reason, I could taste pineapple. And a friend told me about it, and I looked it up on YouTube, so it's got to be true. That there's some enzyme in pineapple that allegedly helps you fight the coronavirus. I don't know. Do your own homework, but that's what I found out. Like, okay. But when I got back from Walmart, this thing's like, "Oh, so you think you feel better, huh?" Bam! It's fucking like whack-a-mole and just knocks the shit out of you again. I'm like, what the fuck? Because every time I've been sick with whatever, when you start feeling better, that you're getting out of the woods and you're feeling better. So you think you're going to be okay. Nope. Not with this thing. This thing will knock you on your ass like Rocky Balboa, man. It just fucking, or Clubber Lang or whatever. It's like, "Oh, you think you feel better?" Boom! And you're out. How do you like that? I don't like that. But when you're sleeping, you're at your weakest point. You're unprotected unless you ask for a prayer of protection, like if you're going to meditate and go to sleep or prayers or whatever. And you're totally vulnerable to whatever. And this thing was fucking with my head in some weird dreams that were just like, what? What? Not premonitions, not visions, not anything other than just some weird, like there was one that I can remember, and it took me way back to high school in some, I mean, I had a great high school experience, but there was, a couple that weren't. And out of the blue, that comes up. I'm like, what the fuck? What? So this thing, in my experience, not only decimates you in physical, potentially spiritual, but also mental. Never experienced something like it. I call my mom and I go, "Ma." She goes, "Oh, how you feeling, sweetheart?" I'm like, "Oh, I feel like shit and whatever." But I go, "Ma, this thing's fucking with my head." And she goes, "Oh yeah, honey, that's what it does. It did it to me and your father too." I'm like, that's my mom sounds like a witch. She's not though. And I'm like, okay, now I don't feel as crazy. because this thing fucks with your head. It fucks with your thinking process, analytically, common sense, reason. And when you're sleeping, it gets you. As crazy as that sounds. So don't think you're losing your mind, because you will. This thing, in my opinion, whatever it is, you'd have to ask the Chinese what the hell's in this thing, what it's made out of. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind it's a bioweapon. I mean, it's just, from what I've heard and this and that and experience, this thing fucks with your head, on top of totally annihilating you physically. So there you go. And then the congestion started coming in. That's it, Mucinex. I bought some Mucinex. Then I ran out of that shit and I bought some Robitussin. But the congestion never got past a point, because all I'm thinking is like, fuck, I'm going to go to the hospital and get on a ventilator and all this shit. And I'd just rather die. I mean, I'm not saying I want to die, and I didn't say I wanted to die. I'm just saying, you put me on a ventilator, I have a DNR tag anyway. So it's not going to happen. Not because I want to die, because I don't want to suffer. And it was starting to fuck with my head on top of everything else. Now, imagine again, you're laying alone in your bed, no cat, no dog, no significant other, nobody, just alone. Kind of like Tom Hanks and looking for Wilson. Wilson, where are you? But you're sick as a dog. Just the isolation is just freaking off the charts, man. It tests you. I mean, I'm surprised I haven't got married right off the bat now since I feel better, because I'm like, I don't want to go through that again. Nobody should go through this shit alone. But like I said, life deals you a set of cards sometimes in hand that you just got to play, and it's what it is. But you really don't want to be alone. And if you are alone, get on the phone and talk to people, if you even have enough energy to do it, or you can think, because it's bad. This thing's a motherfucker. I'm not kidding. What I took to combat this thing was vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, Chichona bark, X3, which is nasodiodine, pretty much. Tylenol, like I said, Robitussin, Mucinex. And I just loaded up with that stuff. A lot of water. I craved lemonade, although I couldn't taste it, and I don't like lemonade. My body craved lemonade. I don't know why. I don't know why. But I drank like a fish. I made sure I stayed hydrated. And it took me, that was pretty much, and then I started getting a little better every day. For me, it went from having my ass kicked to finally 50% better. But I was a little cautious on that, because I'm like, well, this thing's just going to kick my ass and throw me back into bed. It didn't. So I would say it went from total annihilation, kicking your ass, to 50%. But like I said, you're like, I don't know about this. And then I would say in increments of 10%, maybe on a daily basis. But this thing is going to put you down for 3 weeks. I didn't see a doctor. I don't have health insurance. I just going to fight this out. I know what works and what don't. And I didn't think it was going to kill me, but you never know. But a good 3 weeks. I was off of work for almost a month. And like I said, 0 and then up to 50%, like, whoa, okay. And then maybe 10% increments after that, after 3 weeks for me. right now, I would say I'm probably 100%. Just recently, though. But like 50, 60, 70, 80% recovery. 90 was the same. But then 90 to 100, I would divide it up into like 90 to 95. And then before you give yourself, I'm good 100%, maybe a couple more days, but definitely a month. Absolutely. But I'm going to make it crystal clear. You have to take care of yourself. You have to rest. You have to look at what you want to do, or you can go to the doctor. I don't, doesn't matter to me. I guess people that have had the shot, it doesn't affect them as bad and they got a faster recovery. Joe Rogan, Kirstie Alley, Alex Jones, they all got this thing. The irony between that is that, from what I know, Joe Rogan just visited Florida. Kirstie Alley lives in Florida, according to her Twitter account. And not that that matters, but Florida is definitely a common denominator here. But they took ivermectin and Z-Pak and erythromycin, I think that's what that is. And some other things, a cocktail of things, and they were fine in a few days. So whatever. I don't know what to tell you. But not during any of that time did I have the thought process of getting vaccinated, and I still don't. I talked to my chiropractor, and there was Stu Peters, a guy that's I listen to once in a while. I can usually find him on beforeitsnews.com, or just type Stu Peters in the Google box and it'll pop up. But he's had doctors on that if you have natural immunity to this thing, among any things, you have a 16 times stronger immune system than induced by a vaccine. So it's like, and then I went to my chiropractor yesterday and I told him, and he's like, oh, you should be good now. If your body gets this thing or any variant of it, you should be able to fight it. Now, he's not a medical doctor, but he's just giving me his opinion. Like, yeah, I kind of believe that. But regardless, I don't want it again on any level. This is not fun. So that's my sharing of my story and story time. I figured I'd get it out there because some people have not had it, and you're very lucky. All I can say too is that when somebody does have it, be as compassionate and kind as you can, because it sucks. It sucks. That's the time to be a friend. I mean, don't bug the shit out of them and whatever. But and I did quarantine myself. I'm not an asshole. Well, depending on who you ask, but I'm not an asshole when it comes to that. I quarantine myself because I don't want to share any of this with anybody at all, and I would feel horrible if I did. So I did quarantine myself. So I just want to make that perfectly clear. Okay. So other than that, that's a real life experience from me. You're seeing all kinds of stuff on mainstream media and alternate news, alternative news media, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just telling you, that was my experience. But I have not changed my view, focus, or beliefs in my decision in a vaccine. As far as social distancing, I still think that's a good idea, just out of respect, not because you want, see, here's my thinking on this, not because I don't want to catch it. I don't want to give it to you, even if I'm asymptomatic. Somebody gave this to me. I didn't give it to myself. And as far as the masks things go, you need to do your homework on that. I still don't believe that unless it's an N95 or above it does anything. So there you go. It's kind of like wearing a knit scarf for a condom. She's pregnant. Well, she shouldn't be. I used a scarf. A knitted scarf. Whatever. So there you go. But it's all personal choice, what you believe in, what you want to believe. But don't let your fear and anxiety make your decisions. Because that's when things relinquish your rights or anything of the kind. Because once you do that, you can't reverse that. You'll get better from this. I did. And just be respectful to people that have it. Be kind. Take care of yourself if you have it and you're going through it. And you'll get better. Or you should. But do what you think you need to do. Just like anything. All right? So that's enough of that. What is this? 51 minutes. I don't know. I mean, everybody's being quiet in the chat room. Is there anything anybody wants to say, bring up, bothering you? What you want to talk about? Anything? I will comment really quick. This is not political. I will comment on the fuckery for Afghanistan. Only from the perspective of being an American. It will be a long ass time before my ass leaves this country. Because, well, I'm an American citizen and they're going to come get me and I'm going to go home. It's like, you better think twice about that one. As much as I like to travel out of the country and see new places and new things, this is a very unpredictable, crazy world, whether you're in the military or not. And a civilian and the citizens of your country or citizen of your country is what I meant to say. And if there's even a remote chance that I'm not coming back, I ain't leaving. I mean, this place sucks to begin with, but I definitely don't want to voluntarily leave for vacation and not be able to come back for whatever reason that is. So, nope, not on a cruise, not on a flight. Not on a paddle boat across the Atlantic. Hawaii, you can't even go to, from what I know. They just lost their shit. They are locked down. Nope, nobody's coming in. Nobody's going out. Like I said, I've had this thing. It sucks. And when I was a kid, I heard stories that when kids got the chicken pox, they just had chicken pox parties and they just said, you know what, let's just get this over with. Everybody come on over. We'll get it. We'll quarantine you. Everybody will get it. We'll get it over, get herd immunity and just let you out. That sounds good to me. Chicken pox, from what I know, may or may not be able to kill you, but still this whole isolation thing, when it's inevitable, in my opinion, you're going to get it. You just might as well fucking get it over with. That's just my opinion, man. Let's just get this over with. And obtain herd immunity naturally. And life goes on. It's not the first health issue we've had. It's not going to be the last. And it's really not that big of a deal comparatively. But that's just me. My opinion, I'm entitled to it. And so are you. It's like, fuck you, Tim. That's crazy. We just got to isolate ourselves and be locked up and need your papers and your vaccination, the whatever you call it, the document and papers, and to work and to go to school and to eat and live. You do not have any more rights unless you have a vaccine. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to be undocumented then, because that seems to be the good thing anyway. I'm undocumented. How do you like that? Because I've been hearing that shit for 30 fucking years now. I'm undocumented. Oh, so am I. Congratulations. Let's go have a beer. How do you like that shit? Sorry. going to be my excuse. You're a racist. It's none of your goddamn business if I'm vaccinated or not. Simple as that. So anyway, that's it. It's a health thing. I'm hearing all kinds of crazy shit coming from my home state of Illinois. You have a certain amount of time to get vaccinated, and if you're not going to be employed. And you're going to have to get a PCR test 1 or 2 times a week. Okay. The testing I don't have a problem with. But telling me that I have to have a shot to do anything is discriminatory against my rights, and it's none of your fucking business. How's that? And I feel that way now, and I always will. Even if the good Lord takes me now and the next COVID variant kills me, that, well, you know what? I'm not giving up my rights and my freedoms and my livelihood for an experimental shot. It's against the Nuremberg Code, not even to mention that. It's your choice. Don't make your choice other people's choices. This is horrible. This reminds me when AIDS came out in the 80s and how everybody persecuted and looked at people that had AIDS like they had a scarlet letter on their chest and they were discriminated against. And basketball players got it. They're like, well, gee, can I get other basketball players like, gee, can I get it now? Because since they got it, I can get it just by playing basketball with them. And they were isolated. It's horrible. It's horrible. All because of fear and lack of knowledge, and then people misguiding you to overcome your just get the shot and you'll be fine. You'll be protected. Unless, of course, there's a breakthrough. But we won't tell them about that until it happens. Oh, thanks. Whatever. It's a big mindfuckery thing. It's a personal choice. I went through it. I just explained it. I have not changed my feelings on it or stance. If I still own my business, I don't care what the powers that be say that I'm writing an executive order that you need to be vaccinated to be employed. I'd be like, well, I guess I'm going out of business. And even down to customers. Well, your employee's got to be vaccinated. Well, you're just going to have to call somebody else because that is a choice. That's like saying everybody that works here has to be gay. Ain't happening. It's not. I would never ask anybody, tell them what to do, or threaten them with their livelihood if they did not get vaccinated. That is your choice. That is between you and God and your personal accountability. And that's that. Anyway, and I have a lot of perspectives from it, from an employee to an employer to now having it. And I still have, I will not relinquish, big word, my rights for any reason whatsoever. And nor should they be stripped from you, voluntary or involuntarily. Your rights are your rights. And if you let them go, you're fucked. You're a slave. You're a slave. And if people are going to threaten your livelihood and your family's livelihood and you starving because you won't take an experimental shot that didn't even work in, well, they bypassed all the live animal testing pretty much, except the rats, but the rats all died anyway within 6 months, according to Infowars.com. No, thank you. I don't want to get into the vaccination thing because it's definitely a 50-50 divided situation. I, again, think it's just like who you voted for. It's none of your goddamn business. Exactly. So there you go. I hope that helps. That's 1 hour on the money. There's really, I mean, I wouldn't be in here either if it was me, because it is Labor Day weekend, at least here in the divided states of America. So I am going to go. Thanks for listening to me and Freedom Revolution Network. Please share the show. And when it's not cut off by YouTube, which that was my fault, and it may happen again, just a little blurb that I said is enough to trigger the bots. And it's all my opinion based on experience. Oh, we fact checked this. You didn't fact check my life and my experience. So fuck off. I still have the right to share my experience in my life. And if that's going to get censored or restricted or whatever you want to call it, censorship, pretty much, whatever. So I am trying to help and make you think so you make the right decision for you. That's it. And I don't have stock in a pharmaceutical company or a PCR test company. There's no monetary gain for me out of this. And there's no, oh, see, I was right and you're wrong, because that's the last thing I say to people. I pray I'm wrong. I really do. I really hope that I am wrong, because I don't like being right. I really don't. So there you go. All right. So thanks for listening to me. Thanks for tuning in. Is that what you're doing? I don't even know. In listening to Freedom Revolution Network, there's a lot of great shows on here, so I encourage you to check them out. When we are not blackballed by social media because we don't fit their agenda, whatever that means. And there you go. So y'all have a great day. Share the show, and thanks for listening to me, and have a great holiday day. I don't know, whatever. You have been listening to the original Red Pill Show, only on Freedom Revolution Network.